It'll be interesting to see how Hunt plays. We haven't really discussed that yet. If he plays well, I don't want to keep him out there forever. He's got a ton of reps. Last year I was really dividing it amongst the other three. And then between the other three guys, I'm going to try to keep it as even as possible. Really all of them have done a good job. I want to see them out there with fans in the dome just to see, because they're at a different point where they have a lot more going on with them. They see way too much, and they still need to work on getting honed in. So it'll be good to see really all of them, because they've never done it. And none of the other three guys have ever had a spring ball game, period. So it'll be interesting just to see how they react to it. For me, that'll be fun. So I'm going to try to get them as even reps. When Hunt's done with the ones and gotten as many reps as we want him to get, whatever that number might be, then we'll let that competition continue behind it.
Does the spring game suit Terrell better than practice? I know some of his teammates have said he's a better game player than he is a practice player. I know it's still not like a real game, but having as people on the stands
I would
like
say
that.
no, just because we're not letting him get hit.
Okay.
Games suit him a lot better than practice, just because there's a big part of his game that he uses his feet, and he doesn't get to use it in practice.
Yep.
He had we had the officials there for a scrimmage, and he scrambled for like a 10-yard gain, but they call it a sack because he got a guy touched him. But the guy was also getting blocked and reached his hand out. But I'm fine with that. Blow that whistle. Keep my guys clean. They're going to get hit plenty on Saturdays. So you just understand that comes with the territory. But yeah, in games he gets to use the whole repertoire, and the whole offense gets better on game day when you add another threat to the offense. But that's really the one thing I've been most impressed with him as he's become and matured as a thrower, that he's become a better practice player, because he can rely on just throwing the ball, which is really what practice is. You don't run your quarterback in practice. You run the plays, but no one touches them.
Is there a consensus number 2 going into the spring game, or still nothing yet?
No, I mean, they're all battling. It's been back and forth, and everyone, they've all had good days and bad days. They're inconsistent, which is I'd rather not have, but it's the way it is, and it's kind of expected with all freshmen. And so it'll be interesting to see. The spring game will tell me a lot about who can handle just any little bit of difference between the people there, the crowd, just everything else. Everyone will be in game unit. It'll just be interesting to see how they handle that. And like I said, my goal is to figure out going into camp, who's going to be our number 2, because early on in camp we'll do the best we can to have equal reps, but eventually we got to get 1 and 2 ready to go. And so that decision's going to have to come. And the numbers have been pretty decent. They've been getting better. But they've been fairly equal, where Saturday will be a big thing for them to see how they come out. And really, there's still so much in the developmental process. For me, is that there's the summer that those 3 number 2s have, I think will determine a lot. Because when you, just like Hunt's come back, a totally different guy after having experience. Same way with these kids. The first time they've ever gotten any reps is this past month. And then they're going to have the time to go into summer and train, figure out their weaknesses have been shown, work on them, and the camp should be. I'm hoping it's one heck of a battle. I'm hoping there's a lot of good quarterbacking going on, and we have choices, as opposed to we have to. Someone's got to be a 2, so it might as well be you. So hopefully they continue building, because they've done a great job. Considering they're all freshmen.
How have you seen Terrell got used to working with John Miller? Has there been any kind of adjustment period, or just
first
normal?
day was great. John's a great snapper. He's for us, he's done a great job up front. We're really not watching him much, but we just worry about the snap itself.
Yeah, I mean,
he's better than Trudeau. Snapping. Just that part of it. We don't get the snaps right, snaps left, and he's real consistent. It's faster. Our guys like it. It's a good pace. So that was the happy change for us. Just because it was more consistent. Because early on, Trudeau was doing a good job. He was working hard. He's just trying to learn how to snap. Yeah. Some people are natural at it, and Miller is. So our guys love it when he's in there, just because they know where it's going to be, when it's going to get there. Because when you're trying to, hand it to a guy that's standing to your right, we've had a couple where the guy's standing right there to his left, and the ball literally snapped to the running back, and we put our hand in his belly and catch it. No one really knows what to do at that point. So there's been a couple interesting one of those, but since Miller's been in there, we haven't had any issues.
Tim, what have you been taking from Mitch and how he's been able to kind of come along and, get the reps that he has?
It's been good. I mean, it's been frustrating for me to watch him because his numbers are down. Not his completion percentage. It's just he didn't come back. I think today was his 5th or 6th practice because of his back.
Yeah.
So he's not throwing it. He's not throwing it like he did in the fall. He's just not comfortable yet. With his motion. I mean, he doesn't have any pain, which is the most important thing. So he's one that over the summer, if he can throw it like he did last year, he's really smart. But he hasn't been throwing the ball like I know he can. I saw him all last year throw it like that.
Yeah.
As he's coming back from the back and all that stuff, he's throwing it well, but not as good as we know he can. He's a real sharp kid. So I'm looking forward to seeing those two. He's real frustrated right now because he's not throwing it like he knows he can. He's really taken a lot of time off to heal up the back. So he'll probably be the most important one for me to watch in the summer to see if he can get back to where he's throwing it well. It'll be fun, but it's frustrating because I think he's at like 70 reps and everyone else is at 150 or 170 or Hudson at 300 as far as for the whole spring. So I've been trying to ramp him up. Because he's gone from 0 to 100, So as soon as we got him back, it was like, hey, you're going to get a lot more reps than everybody else because they all got reps. And I want to make sure we get the numbers where it's going to be a good decision off the same amount, So he's been loaded up the last couple of days. He's been handling it well.
What about Austin and AJ? What are you taking away from them? I mean, Scott just talked about AJ and Mitch, but didn't really mention Austin too much.
Yeah, Austin throws the ball beautifully. For him, it's just I think he's a rep guy. He just needs to continue to get reps. Because as he got more reps when Mitch was hurt and everybody, that he got better as he went. He just needs to continue to get opportunities. Because he has the physical tools. It's just making quick decisions that he struggles with right now. He knows that's his weakness. We've discussed it. And shoot, today was a great time. So he's getting better every time he runs the same play over and over again. Hunt's a rep guy too, but now he's in a position where he's getting a lot of reps.
Right.
And AJ's been really good. I mean, I've been impressed with the kid who should be going to senior prom next week. And he's been, we've been working on his motion a little bit, and that's getting cleaner. And he's got a little bit of he's got a pretty good feel for just running the offense. He's been here from beginning to end, And he's really starting to get comfortable of understanding where to go. And he's, graduating early is going to help him in the fall, because he's playing well. It's been fun because, like I said, all of them have had their good and bad days. But I wasn't sure how far AJ could come, having only been in college for a couple months, really. And he's been a very pleasant surprise.
Thanks, Tim.